Right now, police officers Fredrick Leliman, Stephen Morogo, Sylvia Wanjohi, and police informant Peter Ngugi have been found guilty on 3 counts of murder of human rights lawyer Willie Kimani, his client, and a taxi driver. However, police officer Leonard Maina Mwangi has been acquitted by Lady Justice Jessie Lesiit. The lawyers of the 4 have vowed to file an appeal against that particular ruling.
After 6 years of anguish for the families of the slain lawyer Willie Kimani, his client Josephat Mwenda, and taxi driver Joseph Mwiruri, the journey towards justice continues. Lady Justice Jessie Lesiit, in a 6,000-page ruling, found 4 of the accused persons guilty of the murder of lawyer Willie Kimani, his client Josephat Mwenda, and taxi driver Joseph Mwiruri in 2016.
Carefully considered the entire evidence adduced in this case by both sides, and have considered the submissions by counsel the authorities relied upon, and having done so, I find that the circumstantial evidence established against the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th accused persons justify the drawing of an inference of guilt to the exclusion of any other reasonable hypothesis except that of guilt. I considered.
The 4 found guilty are police officers Fredrick Leliman, Stephen Morogo, Sylvia Wanjohi, and informant Peter Ngugi. Justice Lesiit detailed how evidence directly linked the 4 as principal offenders in the murder of the 3. Lesiit saying that the first accused, Fredrick Leliman, had a motive to kill the second deceased person, Josephat Mwenda, after he made a report against him at the Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, for shooting him.
The first accused was at the Morogo police station on the 23rd of June 2016. He proceeded to Mavoco Locals, then to Syokimau Post, to Soweto later that evening, where the deceased were all murdered, and to Klimambogo through the Superhighway to dump the bodies of the 3 deceased persons before returning to fetch his co-accused at his bar in Morogo for work well done.
On the other hand, police officer Sylvia Wanjohi was classified as a principal offender as she knew that the 3 deceased persons were locked in the cells prior to their murder and failed to register them in the occurrence book. The 5th accused person, Peter Ngugi, was an informer and narrated how the murder was plotted and that he acted in common accord with the others. The 4th accused, Leonard Maina, was however acquitted by the court.
My defense has shaken the veracity of the evidence of the prosecution against him, being that of the 5th accused alone, and therefore I gave him the benefit of the doubt and acquitted him of all the 3 counts of murder.
It is a judgment that has been welcomed by the families of the victims.
The spirit of those guys who are murdered by the police officers, hawagerest kama judgment haijafanywa ama haki yao haijapatikana, na natarajia mahali roho zao ziko itapumzika vizuri.
Us getting justice today, it offers as a source of comfort to our hearts. Even though it may not bring Willie Kimani back, but it will be comforting to our hearts.
We hope that this particular judgment will send a very strong message to any police officer who is involved in criminal activities, that the law will catch up with you, you will be held to account.
However, Cliff Ombeta, who represented Leliman in the case, is dissatisfied with the ruling.
She has done wrong. The judgment is totally bad. Actually, let me repeat, totally bad. It cannot stand an appeal. When you rely on data for the 4th accused person, you acquit him and say the data shows that he was not at the scene. My 1st accused person shows you data that shows he could not have been at the scene. You choose to believe the 4th accused person he could not have been at the scene, but you choose to believe that my 1st accused person must have been at the scene.
The 4 will remain in custody as they await sentencing. With the judgment that has been made today, the family of the 3 deceased has made a step towards closure, even as they await the sentencing of the 4, with the defense saying that it will file an appeal. Nancy Okware, reporting for Easy Friday from Milimani Law Courts, Nairobi.